Hi guys, it's Dan. I just got home from putting up flyers for 5 hours down in the East Village. Whew. I caught some scenes of the subway too. Anyway, so I got a quick update here. I saw first, I got a notification that Russell Does Stuff put up a video, so I looked at it. You know what he says? He says, I'm going to try to make this video as boring as possible. You can't get any boring than what you're doing already, Russell. um, anyway, and guess what? It was another boring video. I'm going to get into JEB's journey, but he's filming his truck, and he's talking about how he's going to clean his truck. It's an 11-minute video of him talking about cleaning his truck. It couldn't have been worse. He got by the time he did the video, it could have cleaned the whole truck. Oh, it was so boring. So you're good at being boring, Russell. Anyway, so I also got another notification about Jebby boy. They threw him out, or this lady, and I have it here. They threw him out of where he was staying at 11:30 last night, according to him. And it was a lady that he was staying with. And he claims that they called somebody. He's basically implying that I did it. Called up the lady, and somehow there was something said, and then he got thrown out at 11:30 at night. I mean, who? I've only been trying to give this dude advice by trying to, get him a little motivated, making jokes, and tell him to go into town and get a job. I don't want him to get thrown out of his place. I want him to find a job. Why would they say get a job, get a job, get a job, and like all these videos? So it wasn't me, dude. And then yesterday you did a whole, was it yesterday? You did a whole video on what a great editor you are. I mean, yeah, so do the editing or something. But then all of a sudden you get thrown out again. Why are you getting thrown out of everyone? Why are you blaming everybody else for all your problems? You get thrown out of that campsite you were staying at because you were an eyesore. And you get thrown out of Offended Outcast campsite or forest site or whatever that was because of you got shot at or something. I don't know. The whole story is crazy. You got you're in the middle of the woods at one time with no place to go. You're on another campsite and another campsite. It's almost winter here. Here comes September, dude. And all these videos you've been putting out, and you could have found a job during this time, because the time it takes you to do a video, and I have maybe an offer for you, by the time it makes you to do all these videos, you could be walking into town, you have a phone, right? You could call up, you could email people, you could collect cans. I would do that. You could wash somebody's car. You could clean windows. There's a lot of things, but you use the excuse in one of your comments that I don't have a car. The one thing first, before I give you this idea I have, is what was that idea I had? I don't know, maybe you're a lost cause. So the idea here is, I think you're the type of person that, I think Jeb from Jeb's Journey is the type of person that can't work for anybody else. I think that you need to have your own little business. I do, because you did this one thing with the cleaner that you used to sell. That's good, right? But I think you need to get to more people, because how much could you possibly be making on these things? Maybe $1 a bottle or something. So why don't you start here's a couple ideas. Why don't you start a window washing business? And, where you go around and you wash storefronts, like their windows, and you have accounts with them. I mean, they got to be paying like $100 a week at least for 2 or 3 times. It's going to take you 10, 15 minutes each time. You could become a painter like me, do little odds and end jobs, painting houses. It's an honest day, it's an honest job. What could you do? And how are you going to get the business? Because I don't have that kind of, I don't have the tools. Well, your first job, you're not going to have the tools. You got to have the customer buy it. And then how are you going to get the jobs? Put flyers up like me. I don't know why my nose is so itchy. Put flyers up like me. Put flyers up, get your first customer, have them buy the supplies and take it off the price. Get little jobs, it'll be $200-$300 at first per day, or maybe 2 days, that's fine. Build it up, and don't use the excuse that I don't have a place to put the tools. That's what what am I gonna do with all this stuff? This is what you do with the stuff. Get rid of all that junk. You got 2 dogs. If you're not following along with me here, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. This is about Jeb's journey. The guy that's kind of freeloading off of his subscribers. I tell it like it is, guys, and I'm going to get comments. But you got all this stuff. You showed it in a short. And you got a whole lawn full of stuff, old tents and garbage and buckets and a lot of stuff. And then you got 2 dogs, and then you're lugging along this girlfriend, Destiny, who's abandoned her child, and you're living on a curb somewhere, who knows where, and you're lugging around all this stuff. And then you say, I can't lug this stuff and find a job. You got to get rid of all that junk. Throw it in the trash. It's worthless. And get yourself a job. You need 2 pair of jeans, a couple of shirts. That's it. That's about it. A little bag full of stuff. Go into town. Here I am. I have nothing. Help me. I need a job. And do a video of that. Or you being like a hobo guy out in the middle trying to find a job. People will appreciate that. People are eventually going to give up on you by just saying the same thing. I got thrown out. What are you going to do this until you're my age, until you're 63? Keep doing this? Just stop everything. Get a job. Why don't you come into the city? Come into New York City with just the clothes on your back. Go into a shelter. In New York City, you could go into any shelter and they must, by law, give you a place to stay. And if you're married, they have to give both of you accommodations. They're going to feed you. You're going to give you shelter. You're going to have a shower. You can't bring dogs, but they could help you find a job. And after 45 days, man, 45 days of living in a shelter in New York City, they give you a voucher. It's called City Steps. And that voucher goes up to, I think, about $2,600 for a 1-bedroom. I could be somewhere around there. And you get it. It might not be in a great neighborhood, but they get you an apartment. Don't live off the government. I'm gonna tell you about my story in another video, maybe today. But don't live off the government. These people will invade your privacy, man. You will have no privacy, and you have to abide by some serious rules. It's not worth it, but it's worth 45 days. 45 days in a shelter is a lot less time than what you've been doing on these crazy videos and this crazy story. But 45 days, they get you a place. They're going to set you up and then work your way out of it. That's the way to do this, I think. You're traveling from town to town, man. Anyway, so that's the thing. And my belief is that you're doing all this as like kind of like a stalling point because you're waiting for the offended outcast. The two of you guys are going to get back together and do some wilderness videos. I don't know. How could we make it more interesting? We could bring in Russell Does Stuff. We could bring in Russell Does Stuff. And, God, could you imagine being around Russell? Whoa. What's he going to do next? I said in another video, that I'm going to come out with a video of washing my feet. I'm going to have like a 3-hour video washing my feet, man. And I'm going to make that video more interesting than the Russell Does Stuff video. So, to end this, the offended outcast, as much as he really deceived his subscribers, he had more interesting videos than you will ever have, JEB. He come out with some pretty good videos for older people, much more interesting than your videos. I'm not defending the offended outcast. I have a lot to say about that guy, as you could see in some of my other videos. I'm just comparing videos. But out of all the three you got, the four, the Ain't Here No Bell, JEB's Journey, and Russell Does Stuff. Whoa, man, that guy's on a different level, man. Huh. You get the most boring videos there are on YouTube. And out of all of them, the offended outcast had the best videos. That's why he has so many subscribers. And people are just basically waiting for him to tell his side of the story. And he's building up a little bit of anticipation. Oh, I want to say that in my comments, there's this guy, Mr. Privacy. Anybody hear of this guy, Mr. Privacy? He says that he's an authorized speaker for the offended outcast. And that if I want to speak to the offended outcast from now on, I have to go through Mr. Privacy. And now I don't even know if this is true, who this Mr. Privacy is. He was on my comments, I don't know, a week ago, like saying all kinds of nasty stuff. I don't delete my comments. I don't hide them. I only had to do that one time. One comment that was, one commenter that was, he was insulting my other subscribers. And he was insulting me, and he just wouldn't give up. He emailed me really nasty, low-down stuff. And I got to draw the line there, man. I got to draw the line there. So I hit his comment. That was my only one. I mean, you're going to be that insultive and use foul language like that? No. I won't put up with that. But anybody else could voice their opinion. I don't hide anybody. Look at my comments. I love talking to the people. The people are very important. I speak with everybody, around the country. I reply to everybody. Anyway, so I'm going to do another video later, and I'm going to do another long poem. Oh, and to give you an update, because I'm getting a lot of questions about where I should bring my art. About my poetry is that I have emailed Joe's Pub down on Astor Place and see if they reply. I even emailed them one of my poems, the YouTube poem, and then I did this another email to another poetry club on the Bowery. See if they return my call. Oh, I also emailed 10 actually, painting companies in the city, and I didn't get any replies except for one. And you know the weird thing about this is that I wrote a long email about asking, applying for a job, and you know what they emailed me back? They emailed me back, do you speak English? I just wrote a whole email in English and sent it to you. And you're going to be that dumb and say, do I speak English? I'm like, and then I emailed them back. I said, I don't want a labor job. I wanted some high-end painting and stuff, plastering. I went in, I texted some pictures of some of my really high-end stuff. And he was like, "Oh, well, we're hiring laborers. Can you work for $1 an hour? Can I give you 20 cents an hour? Will you work for free to prove yourself?" I'm like, man, come on, give me a break. I'm not a kid anymore. So work in the city is kind of rough. I'm trying to get out of here. I'm going to do another video later on how I got myself into this situation. If you're still here at the end, check it out. I did a poem yesterday. I really thought I thought it was great. It was called The Candy Store. Yeah, it was, you'll see it on my short, one of my shorts. The Candy Store. And that was a really good, it's a 2-minute poem. It's actually from the real Candy Store poem, which is about 9 minutes long. I kind of condensed it. I wrote that a long time ago. It's really cool, I thought, anyway. Hey, one of my best pieces. Maybe not, but it's pretty cool. And I did a little tour, which I thought was great, of downtown, Bleecker Street and Minetta Lane and McDougal Street today, where all the rock and rollers used to hang out back in the 60s and 70s. And, the Cafe Wa and all the kind of places that are downtown. Minetta Lane is a place downtown that not a lot of tourists go to. It's just kind of like Minetta Lane and Minetta Street. There's two different, lane and a street that kind of intersect. Nobody really walks down in there. There's a little theater down there. It's pretty cool. You should check that out if you're into New York sights. And I wanted to reply to some comments. So I get some pretty hardcore comments here, and I'm rooting for JEB and his life to be turned around, and I'm in a horrible situation. But every video that I put out, I'm not begging. I'm not. Poor me, I lost my apartment. Poor me, I don't have a car. Poor me, they threw me out again. Poor me, I don't have enough money to buy a cell phone. Poor me, woe me, oh, I don't have a car. I don't have this. Oh my God, people are being... Every single video you're doing is like this. And then you do a video, you got to be more positive. And you're talking about me. I post flyers for hours per day. I do computer stuff at night. Like yourself, you do computer stuff. Google Sites, talking to JEB here. I have my trading. I have my painting and plastering little business I do. I write my poetry. I try to find work. I do this. So please don't compare me with JEB. I don't want to be in my situation. I don't want to be here. And I'm not begging for money every single day, even though I have a GoFundMe. You don't say me saying, I don't have enough for my phone bill. I'll find a way, man. I'll find a way to get out of my situation. And if I can help anybody along the way, I will. Like JEB's journey, like him. He needs to get up off his ass and get into town and start washing some windows and putting up some flyers and do some little handyman jobs. That's what he needs to do. Instead of trying to rely on YouTube donations. So JEB, that's what you need to do. And if you want, you could come to New York City. You can. I probably need to bring a bodyguard because you probably don't really like me too much. And I'll teach you how to put flyers up in the different areas where you need to put them up. I'll teach you a little bit around the streets and stuff, and you could be working the next day for a couple $100, and then the next day for another couple $100, and the next day and the next, and so on, until before you know it, you'll be making like a couple of $1,000s a week. And then you'll be saying, wow, that Danny boy really helped me. Yeah, man. So just get up, Get rid of all that junk. Like the offended outcast, give your dogs to the dog pound or the dog whatever. Let somebody else take care of the dogs, and get to work, man. Get to work, man. Do some poetry. Do anything, but don't do another video about poor me. Like and subscribe.